Good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you're in the world. Tonight's another edition of Hong Kong House of Cards, where Tony Jiang is heading out to meet the bounty hunter. She is currently en route away from the was it Carpe Noctem or Carpe Jugulum that you were at?
It was Carpe Jugulum.
Okay. So as you're heading down the street, heading to where you may be going, from an alleyway, you hear somebody clear their throat.
She'll stop and look towards the alleyway.
You'll see Taraya standing there in his suit with his trench coat on, and he'll crook a finger and then walk into the alleyway.
She'll stand there for a moment and narrow her eyes. Reach behind her and kind of wrap her hand around the handle of one of her daggers in her bag, and then follow into the alley.
Once you're suitably far into the alley, he'll pull out what looks like a crystal, crush it in his hand, and then toss it into the air. And all of a sudden, there's no sound around you. We can talk freely now.
Huh, that's pretty neat. How'd you do that?
There are certain members of my kind with certain skills. That is one of them.
Cryptic. Okay.
It's the truth. It rings true. It just,
Yeah. Okay. I suppose that works. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of have a tiny little speech prep because I've been thinking about this for a little bit, because there's kind of a bit that I need to say to you, so it's gonna sound a little weak. But don't laugh. I'm not good at speeches.
I'm sure you'll be fine. Please proceed.
Okay, so I know it's probably not the best opener, but it's what I'm going to start with, just so you know how sincere I am. I don't like your kind. I don't like having anything to do with you guys, but because of the situation that I'm in, I have to. That being said, and I know I said this over the phone, but I like to do that sort of thing in person, but thank you for what you did the other day.
Nod his head. I see that you survived. I'm gratified for that.
Yeah, I survived, but Master Desal now looks like a tomato, so...
Desal. He'll pull out a book and flip through it. Atrian Desal, Archmagus of the Order of Hermes. House Flambeau now. Interesting. And he'll flip it and then put it away. He is your master.
Yeah. Who else do you have in that little book of yours? That's a little weird.
He smiles. I have everybody I need. And that rings true. So.
Okay, then. Okay. Okay. I'll probably monologue a little bit, or it is going to be a monologue. I'll probably repeat some stuff, too, because I'm having to do this out of memory. Basically, she'll kind of stand there and bite her tongue, and then finally say, "We need your help. A lot, okay? We all, and I'm pretty sure everyone that I know wants Mordecai dead. And given that it looks like you've been playing a old game of cat and mouse with him, you probably know the most about him. At least the one who knows the most about him that we can, talk to without immediately having to start a fight with."
You would be correct in that assertion.
Yeah. Now, I get he's your charge to kill. That's cool. I know you've got, a lot of pride for that. It's your job. This is what you do. But I'm still asking that you kind of let us help you. I really, really, really want this dude dead. I want him dead as soon as possible. To do that, I'm going to need a little bit more on him. I know you probably don't want to talk about him to other people because you're just you'll just give out secrets about your prey for no reward, and bad stuff normally follows that sort of thing. I get that. The thing is we don't have time to run around doing things in order to increase our reputation with you so that we can get to that point that you'll give us some information to go out and kill him.
What I find most amusing, though, is that you, rather than it being the other kindred in the city, it's you who comes to me for this.
Like I said, I really want this dude dead. He made me try to kill myself. And as a direct result of that, Master DeSaul now looks like a tomato.
If it will help you understand him a little bit better, what he did to you is probably one of the least of his sins. Not to belittle what happened to you,
Oh,
but
no.
I've seen so much more that he has done.
Yes. And I completely understand that. I remember the little twin that he ate, and then the other little girl that he left sisterless and parentless.
As do I.
Needless to say, this dude needs to die. And so I am here asking for your help with that. You can have the final blow. I don't care. I just want to get a couple shots off on him.
I can understand your desire. Those who are touched by the Black Breath often find themselves, once recovered, seething with the darkness inside them as well. That is the unfortunate curse of the Black Breath.
Well, I don't know about seething with the darkness inside. I've always had this kind of... Yeah, I don't know. Okay, then. But, yeah. It's just... I mean, the wards will probably be destroyed sooner or later if we don't kill this guy, and then, demons throughout the city, stuff will get even worse. We need to kill him kind of soon before he does another attack like that. Zombies running through the city again isn't exactly a pleasant thing, especially with how the city already is. So, yeah.
I understand. I have seen far too much of what he has done, and though it will pain me to end his life, it is necessary. And that's ringing true.
Did you know this guy before he went all darker side?
We were friends. That rings false.
Friends, huh? So if you guys are friends, where did you, meet and do all that, friendship stuff? What did you guys do then? Sorry to pry.
He is my broodmate. He and I were created at the same time. We've known each other since the Renaissance.
I see. That I do understand a little bit more.
He was the smart one. He was the one who could analyze situations and figure them out. I was the fist, the one that reaped and slaughtered those who were unfit for their kind. It is not a position that I preferred. It is what I was born into.
Well,
And there was in Fallen who was the soul.
I see. And I don't know about your politics, all that weird vampire stuff. But if I were you, if you were in something that you didn't want to do, just don't do it. Flip them off. Be like, nah, dude, do my own stuff. But you guys are a little bit different. So.
It was the reason I was created. It was my obligation, my burden to bear. And
mean,
for that reason, I excelled at it.
I don't know though. I mean, you hear people complain about how they don't like their jobs and stuff, and they were just kind of forced into it because it was what they needed to do at the time, and then they die doing that horrible job. It's just, you have to deal with that job a lot longer than most people.
You are correct. However, it is something I've felt inside of myself since my creation. It is not something I do out of malice. It is not something I do out of sadistic pleasure. It is something I do because it is required. There are those running around with blood that is unworthy. That blood must be reclaimed. Those souls, like Mordecai's, that reap pain for no other reason than to reap pain, must be silenced forever. All this is ringing true, by the way.
Okay.
I'll let you know if something rings false.
Okay. She'll nod. I suppose it is better to do something because it's your obligation than to do it because you enjoy, like, murdering people. But I don't know. Still, I've always been one to want to do something that I enjoy. Kind of why, I forge weapons and things of that nature. But I don't know. I guess that's a conversation for another day. At this point,
Does Desal teach you how to forge weapons as well?
he does, and he also teaches me magic and things of that nature.
He'll pull that book open and look through it. That's certainly changed since 1207. And then close it again.
Before he closes it, she'll try to, peer at it.
Perception alertness.
One success.
You catch his name, but it's a weird language that it's written in.
Dang. So she'll kind of, rock back down onto her heels and say, well, and just because I'm curious here, what else does it say about him in that little book of yours?
I do not wish to tell tales. The information in this book is not mine. It is that of my creators.
Well, that's a little disturbing. Okay.
Ask your sire if he remembers a man by the name of Garan Tepish. And then see his reaction.
Okay. As long as it doesn't. If this comes back to, bite me in the ass, I'm coming after you and ranting.
I understand.
Okay, but I know we've kind of gotten off point here, and that's fine. I guess it's good to have decent conversation every now and then. But still, you know where I'm standing at this point. It is not just a personal thing at this point. He is threatening the city, but at the same time, I kind of do personally want him dead. But it's also for the good of the city. So it's not like I'm going to rush in here, hot-headed and anything. And it's not only going to be me who's going to be trying to help. There's several others. I know at least one other is looking into doing some things to get, I'm not entirely sure, to get a better standing with you so that she'll tell us this information as well. But I just kind of rushed, I suppose, because I don't know how much longer we have before he attacks again. So it's kind of good to get this thing going.
There's not much I can really tell you. His power is mental and to some degree emotional. He is the one that focused on those gifts of our kind, manipulating minds, manipulating emotions, manipulating the blood to create what you would consider magic. Not to mention his considerable degree of skill at necromancy as well. The one thing I will tell you, though, is that the blood disease that he carries is not inside his blood. The disease is in his fangs. Should he bite anybody, they will be affected by the plague. Even if he does not draw blood from them, even if he does not drain them.
Is that a common thing for you guys to have your fangs infected?
It is the curse of my blood. Something that was passed down to us, but not a symptom of my creator's blood. It is why I do not feed on humans.
Okay. Thank you for that, then.
I was told that in the old days when we fed on humans, we took precautions to destroy the bodies so that they could not infect others. However, in this modern day when there are so many other ways to get blood, there's no need for me to feed on humans.
Yeah, I've seen a few vampires at the museum just drink from blood bags and everything. So I suppose that's not too bad. What? And if you don't mind me asking, what exactly is your bloodline? I guess, since you said it came from, it was a part of your blood. I don't know the technical term for it.
This should never reach the ears of anyone. Do you understand?
She'll raise her hand. Girl Scouts honor? Boy Scouts honor? Anyway, I'm not going to tell you. Have my word.
A long time ago, before the clan Giovanni, there was a clan known as Cappadocian. They were the ones who ruled over death. But they were scholars. They were thinkers. They were those who understood the ways of death but not know how to bring it. In order to protect themselves, they created from one of their ancestors the Lamia. The Lamia are those who protect others. We protect our Cappadocian masters, and we protect the ones who need protecting. A fact that has been lost upon my brother. The curse of the Lamia was that we could not exist without the seed of our creator, Lilith. Lilith's blood was cursed, as she was infected with a plague when she was created. This has been passed on to my kind. From what I understand, though, there were none of my kind left after the purge. When I say I was created, as was Mordecai, as had been in Fallen, I mean that we were created.
How does... Okay. What was this, And I know I'm asking a lot of questions here, it's just that I am very ignorant in your guys' history and everything like that.
To the rest of the kindred, mine and my sire, well, mine and my creator and my brothers are of the clan called Toreador. The artists, the posers, those who seek to understand crafts above all others.
Okay.
However, my creator is Cappadocian, and through his art, my brothers and I were created.
Okay. What was this purge that you guys were talking about, or that you were talking about?
In the 1100s, there was a family of necromancers known as the Giovanni. They were mortal practitioners of death magic, and the creator of my creator, the one who created all Cappadocians, wished to incorporate that blood magic into our path. So their leader, a man by the name of Augustus, was embraced by Asher Cappadocius. He began embracing his own bloodline within the clan until such a point where they became strong enough that they overthrew the Cappadocians, purged the Cappadocians in Lamia, and Augustus committed Amaranth upon Cappadocius himself. Amaranth is a term that is often referred to as diablerie, where a vampire drinks the blood and soul of another vampire, taking their power upon themselves. It is a forbidden and heinous action that is punishable by death within the Camarilla and within most sections of the Anarch movement.
I don't know what either of those two things are, but
Camarilla, the vampires in your city, except for the weird ones, like the chick in the leather and her friends, they are Camarilla. The chick in the leather is known as the Sabbat. Her friends are also members of the Sabbat. You should be careful. They have very little regard for maintaining appearances, as it were.
she'll nod. Okay. Thank you.
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
My bad. I was just gonna say thanks for telling me all this and dealing with my questions. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little interesting to learn about you guys, even though well, you know my standpoint. So.
Well, I will not inform you of how to locate our people, nor will I inform you of how to kill them.
Oh, that's fine. I don't really want all of that, to be honest. It's just interesting about learning your history.
So, the one thing I will say is that because of certain powers that Mordecai has, and certain powers that he gained from Infallen, and you'll actually see some emotion on his face, and he looks sad. He is dangerous at any range. He possesses strength akin to mine, but not speed. Actually, he has speed and strength akin to mind, but not the ability to weather punishment.
So it's more likely we'll have some spells thrown at him or thrown at us, and not so much a physical fight.
That would be correct. I would say that while there is spells that he could throw against you, there are also manipulations he can do. I understand that your kind can shield your mind from the manipulation of others, correct?
We can, if we have trained in that sort of thing.
Recommend that you do so.
I am trained in that sort of thing. I understand that fighting can be both a physical and a mental thing, so I have learned enough to at least protect my mind.
All right. That is the appropriate way to handle him. Though there are things that he can do that are magic that are also dangerous. I don't know if you've seen him shoot fire, but he does possess that ability. Also, and this is most key, he must never find out your darkest sin. Do you understand?
Okay. Why is that, if I might ask?
Because he can use it to torture you.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
It is one of the abilities given to him by his new blood.
Okay.
What we call the Baali. One can be embraced by that bloodline, but they are most often converts. You've already met one of them.
Have?
I
Is it
believe her name's Carmen. A
that-
red-headed female.
Yeah.
And
Is
yes,
that
that's the chick. So
okay. Gotta say, it was fun getting her. It was fun stabbing her. That was. Yeah. Okay.
the key to that, if I know correctly what he's been doing, will be involving keeping either them together or diverting her and focusing on him and then taking her out later.
Is that why he sort of came to her rescue the other day, like some kind of silly superhero?
Correct. There is a particular ability that allows one to sense the distress in their fellow and go to their aid instantaneously.
What, if you know, what sort of bond do they have?
I do not know. Mordecai has never shown any interest in females. Neither have Ira and Fallon, for that matter.
Okay.
I appreciate their beauty, obviously, but there is nothing that they can do that holds any particular interest for me. I do not know if this is something that has changed with his shift in allegiances. It could be something he acquired, or it could be that she holds a power that he needs. Regardless, should you divert her and attack her, more than likely he will show up and attempt to rescue her. This is different than it was with the Horseman. The Horseman was a thrall of his, someone he manipulated. He had no particular fondness for him.
Okay. So, a dangerous but easy way to get to him, once again, is to find this Carmen chick, lay her out again, and then when she's down, be prepared for him coming, obviously, in the black asthma crap. And
The
go
Black
from there.
Breath, yes. It is not only his ability to use, I should say that. I can use it as well. I just choose not to.
Yeah. And she'll kind of take like a half step back.
It is one of the powers of the Lamia blood. I do not use it because it is unworthy of me. He, however, has no such compunctions. I use this, and he'll hold out his hand, and all of a sudden, do you know what a Zweihander is?
No.
It's a Germanic or Eastern European greatsword that stands about 6 feet 2 inches tall, has a large handle, and is a fat blade like Cloud's Buster Sword is technically. Actually, the best example of a Zweihander. Did you ever play Soul Calibur?
I did not.
Okay. It's basically a huge ass sword. So
Okay.
one of these appears in his hand with the blade pointed towards the ground. It is easily as tall as he is. At the one end of it, the pommel, there is a rose. Looks like a blooming rose. By the way, the weapon is completely black, but is wreathed in white fire.
Okay. Could I roll crafts to figure out what it's made from?
Intelligence crafts, yes.
Dang, I botched.
Oh, damn. You think it's made of paper mache. It is the cheapest looking sword you've ever seen in your life.
Oh, Tony, why?
If you just been failed, it would have been like, yeah, you can't figure it out. But you botched, so.
So she'll kind of stand there and blink. How is it not burning up? It's made out of paper mache. How is it? It's on fire though.
He's just gonna blink at her. And then he's going to move that hand effortlessly, and it will cleave through the wall. And then he'll banish it. It's made from steel. However, it has certain properties given to it by powers of my blood. As in why I can summon it to my hand.
Are you sure it's made from steel? It looked, like paper mache.
My creator and I both forged it together. He has one that's similar, but more powerful.
Okay. Oh, and she's got Ring of Truth, so she'd know that was the
Yeah.
truth.
Yeah,
She'd
he's
be like, okay.
completely telling the truth on that one.
She'll just kind of, narrow her eyes and kind of look to the side like, why did I think it was paper mache?
Probably because it looked too big to be real. It really looks like a cosplay sword, so.
Well, I think she made one of those for David, so she knew it could be real, or not like one of those.
I
but
think
like
she made him a
sword.
fuck off claymore or something, but yeah.
Yeah. What that's pretty it's a neat weapon you have. What sort of properties?
Apportation for one. The fire, obviously. That fire is not just cool looking fire, it is holy fire. It also can neutralize any toxin carried in the blood. However, it cures it fatally, if you understand what I'm talking about.
Huh. I understand that part. Okay. Do you know of any other way other than using our magic to shield our minds? Do you know of anything else we could use to kind of get around his tricks? Like, would gas masks work on the miasma?
The miasma is not inhaled, is the problem. It is absorbed. It will penetrate any clothing. The key to the miasma is to not be hit by it at all.
Okay.
I will say, though, it is an invocation. It's an expulsion of the darkness inside his soul. Therefore, it can only be expelled from his mouth. And it must be invoked.
Okay.
However, there are worse things he can do to you than that.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. There's always worse stuff that the evil people can do.
Somehow he has managed to figure out a way to rip a soul from a body without being present. That is something that is transcendentally unheard of.
I thought you had to be. Well, how the hell did he learn to do that?
I believe it is a power given to him by one of his demonic masters. There are myriad things that a demon can imbue upon its servitors, depending upon the depth of the faith of that servitor. If one willingly gives up their soul and life to that servitor upon death, there is no limit to the things that they can do. However, good luck getting that soul when he dies. My sire would prefer I returned it to him. Sorry, whenever I say sire, I mean to say creator. My creator would prefer I returned it to him. However, I do not believe that's possible anymore. He not only would take his own soul to the hell, but he would damn and fall in there as well. And once more, he looks sad.
She'll kind of reach out and, if he lets her, he'll, kind of awkwardly pat his shoulder.
If she moves to touch him, he'll step back, and you will feel like a death chill radiating off of him. Please, for your own safety, do not touch me.
Okay, my bad.
It is one of the things that I enact as part of my protections.
Okay. Okay, my bad.
I should have warned you. My apologies.
I shouldn't have tried to touch you. Can he do that as well?
Who?
Mordecai.
I'm sorry, do what? Oh, the chill thing? I believe he has access to that knowledge. I do not believe he uses it, for I have seen him touch people far too often and them suffer no ill effects. Particularly this little family he's formed.
Family?
Yes, I believe Carmen was trying to get you to join them at one point. His family, the family of the new darkness that he has created. There are only about 13 of them so far, but each one is instructed to go out and gather more. He preys upon the degenerate, the inviolable, those that are lost, that seek a master, prophet, puppeteer, however you wish to discern it. You should be alert for a black band around the right ring finger. It will not be made of anything. It will be made of silk. It will not be made of metal or even stone. These are what I have been seeing him give to his fellows, to his family as recognizers. It is my belief that, like with Carmen, he is turning them and infusing them with his sickness. What we have had as a curse for centuries, he now treats as a gift to be given to others.
Okay. Well, that's not going to be good, because if we kill him, then his little followers are going to go crazy.
That I can handle. They are not long for this world anyway, for he is not embracing them.
Is that what you guys call your, how you die and turn into
That is how most kindred are created, yes. They are drained of their blood and have the blood of their. Forgive me, I seem to be treading upon the masquerade. But yes, if that is what you are referring to, then yes, that is the embrace. My brothers and I were created differently. Though I do not know, as I did not know anything until I woke up as Trias Blackthorn.
Okay. And I don't know about this masquerade of yours, so I don't really care about it. I'm just curious. Like, if you
It's
want to ask me a few questions, I'll see what I can do.
it's fine. I've learned quite a bit about your kind. The 9 mystical traditions, I believe you're called.
Mhm.
Though my sire, creator, knows much, much more that he does not feel fit to share.
Okay.
The masquerade, since you should probably be aware of it, is the global rationalization of humankind that vampires do not exist, and it is something that is maintained religiously by the smart members of my kind. It was one of the commandments handed down that we should not let the mortals know we exist.
Okay. That's what you guys call it.
You have something similar, if I recall, the rule of shade.
We do, yeah. I guess it's all pretty much the same thing across every supernatural community. Oh, don't let them know we exist, and it's called this.
If you ever need a realization of what happens when that is not followed, I will turn your attention to the Spanish Inquisition, handed down by Pope Innocent III.
And not able to help herself, she'll just kind of chuckle and go, "No one expects the Spanish Inquisition."
He'll just nod at that. Yes. The Inquisition, however, is still very much alive and well in the form of certain religious orders within the Vatican, as well as certain nut jobs that go out and hunt us. I'm honestly surprised that they aren't here in this city, but perhaps they are, and I'm just avoiding them. You never know.
Might be good to go knock on some wood now, because you might have just jinxed the entire city.
Yeah, he'll turn around, find a piece of wood, and knock on it 3 times. You'll notice that when he knocks on it, though, there's a scorch mark left behind.
I'm really glad I didn't touch you now.
He'll then place his hands down. There is much about him that is hard to explain. Do not let him bite you, obviously. Do not let him touch you. Should he lay hands upon you, there are things that he can do that are dangerous, to say the least. If you can, a hit and run tactic would be appropriate.
Okay. So, if I didn't want to do the hit and run, it might be good for me to go learn how to shoot a gun a little better than I already do, considering my typical fighting preference is up close and personal with a sword.
Do you know anybody that can teach you such things?
I work in a gun shop. I know, yeah, this all is my mentor. He really likes his guns.
He'll just kind of give a slight smile. So he's using guns.
Mm-hmm.
My creator would find talking to him again fascinating. To see how much they've both changed.
Well, it typically happens for people with very long lives. As the times change, So do they.
That's correct. I've, in fact, had to get used to using cell phones and computers. Used to be I could grab somebody, some thug, pull the information out of their minds, leave them behind while I go to kill the thing that's directing them on their path. Now, I can just look things up on the internet.
The internet is pretty useful that way, but there are still some drawbacks considering how easy it is to track someone, how, and everything they do on the internet. And their
Right.
cell phones, and they all have like GPS trackers or something silly like that.
He'll nod and then he'll look away for a moment, reach into his pocket and pull out that red stone he was carrying before and look at it carefully. He'll then put the stone away. Do you have any other questions?
No, I think that about sums it up. I will warn you, though, there will probably be someone else coming to speak to you or going to try to speak to you. I kind of wrecked his plan on that part. Oh well.
Do I want to know whom?
I think you've met him. He looks, what's the easiest way to describe him? She'll, snap her fingers. Ah, edgelord. Jackass is also a good one.
Your gravedigger friend who fancies himself a necromancer.
Ah, that's the one.
There are 5 or 7 different ways I could display necromantic power to him that would have him defecate inside his undergarments so badly that it would seep through to his pants.
To be honest, knowing him, he'd probably think it's really cool and ask you to teach him.
He would not like the method in which I would have to teach him. Neither would you. So I would prefer to leave that aside.
He'll just kind of shrug. To be honest, he's pissed me off enough today that I think I know what you're talking about, and if that were to happen, I wouldn't mind throwing him back in the wheel. But I'm not going to. At least not right now.
By that manner of speaking, you're Chakravanti Thanatos.
I am, yeah.
There is one thing I will say. I respect your devotion to the wheel. I will also say that there are some that cannot control that they are not a part of the wheel anymore. Some of them do their best to make amends with it. Others are fuck-ups.
I understand this. It used to be that when I saw the vampire, I wouldn't really think twice, but given now how I'm having to work with them, it is becoming apparent to me that it wasn't really their choice, and they are trying to get better. I know one, I think his name is Brother Bartholomew. Doesn't seem so bad,
He'll
given what he is.
pull out that notebook and leaf through it. Bartholomew, Bruja, embraced 1073 AD. Sire, Seraphina. One sister, twinned, embraced Clan Ravnos, lost 1472. Bartholomew is one of the few vampires endowed with the power of faith. He is also one of the few vampires that holds their humanity to such high regard. Was actually sought by the Black Friars to become part of them, but due to his personal pacifism, chose not to. Interesting. A Bruja pacifist. I never thought I'd see the day. He'll flip the book closed and put it away again. He is a good person. He is understandably squeamish about some things.
Hmm. Like, I believe when I first met him, or at least one of the times I met him, he pulled out a blood bag and he started drinking from it. That stuff always kind of unnerves me, and he saw it and he was apologized, saying it was the only way he could feed. So,
Yes. Unlike myself, it is his choice to do so. I believe that the thought of bringing harm to anyone would make him ill, which is unusual for a Bruja.
why? What are these Bruja?
To not tread too much upon the masquerade, I believe the common vernacular is anarchic punk assholes that punch first, talk second, preen third.
Hmm.
There are some that are not like that. A member of this city, Lucian Drake, I believe, is a stand up individual.
Rulution. That's all I have to say on him. If that is the same one I'm thinking of that you were speaking of.
Suit, man bun, fairly British type of personality, though English in origin. Born here, actually. He'll pull out his thing, leaf through it a few times. Yes, born here. In the Boxer Rebellion.
I think it might be the same guy. I was trying to talk to him. He completely ignored me and walked away.
Did you use any of your Euthanatos rhetoric about the cycle?
No, I didn't even mention any of that to him. It was either my first or second day in the city, and I mentioned how I was a weaponsmith looking for a place to, a forge. He offered to pay for one, and I said no, thank you, because I didn't want to be in debt to him or anyone else in this city. And as I was trying to explain that to him, he just turned around and walked right off.
I can respect not wanting to be under anybody's personal debt. It is a method by which I have lived my life. In fact, I hold debt over many, many, many individuals that I do not enforce. Though a day may come when those enforcements may be needed.
Yeah, I can understand that. Always good to have a backup plan in case things go south and such.
Well, it's more that if they do not do as I have instructed to them, then I will end their own lives.
That works too. There are some people enjoy living forever, or at least as long as they can.
In the end, no one can escape death. That is something that has been taught amongst the Cappadocians since their inception. It is something that's been passed down to all teachers and all students.
I can respect that line of thinking.
Also, keep in mind the one thing that people seem to forget: there are worse things than death.
Mm-hmm. Like being, oh, and she'll kind of stop mid-sentence and just kind of, yeah, I can imagine a few things that would be a lot more unpleasant than death.
Do you want to see something interesting?
I wouldn't mind it. I'm always up for learning new things, seeing
He
new things.
reaches into his pocket, one of his trench coat pockets. He pulls out a silver sphere. Can you see into the spirit world, into the Wraithlands?
I can't. To be honest, it's not something that interests me entirely a lot. I might I was thinking of studying it maybe a little just so I can see, but for the moment I cannot.
He'll reach into another pocket, and he will pull out what looks like a jar of dirt paste. Close your eyes. Place this underneath your eyes, um, like you would be putting on face paint, and then open them again.
Okay, and she'll do that.
Need to make a quick roll. Cool. Spectrals. It's cool. Okay. Okay. When you open your eyes, you are looking into the Shadowlands. Standing next to Tarias is a Italian-looking wraith that is screaming in horrible pain.
Wow. Okay. Oh wait, I've got the medium merit.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I completely forgot about that. I could have seen it in the first place.
Well, medium only lets you hear. This lets you see. So
I thought I
so
could see him as.
when he, according to the medium merit, you only hear, and it's only if wraiths choose to talk to you. I rule it that you can hear, but you cannot see, unless the wraith embodies.
Okay.
So
okay.
Yeah. You heard a muffled sound when he drew out the silver sphere, and now that you've got the ergo underneath your eyes, you can see what's making that sound. It looks like he's being racked in pain, and it looks like there is a chain leading to the sphere.
She'll kind of stare at it a little bit in horror.
May I present Petruvio Giovanni, 9th generation, murderer and rapist, who enslaved the souls of all that he killed to further abuse them after death. I hunted him down, separated his soul from his body, destroyed his body in fire, and then bound him to the sphere. This was one of the gifts of my creator, one of the things that he created. While bound to the sphere, any wraith who has done any pain or suffering in their lives will have it reflected upon them 1,000-fold. At which point he will wave his hand and you'll be seeing the normal world again, and he will put the sphere away and you'll stop hearing the screams or the muffled sounds.
Damn.
The wrath of the Cappadocians knows no sorrow or limit, but the wrath of one who seeks to avenge those who are lost is dangerous threefold.
I see that. Remind me never to get on your bad side.
As long as you do no harm to the innocent.
Never.
Or start worshipping a demonic entity. At that point, you're safe.
Trust me, I don't think I'm going to do that either. If anything, my apologies.
I've seen what happens to the souls of those that do. You do not wish that upon anyone.
I can't imagine. But yeah, I don't know. I guess in a way my job is similar to yours. In a way, I remove those who do harm to others. I wouldn't ever think of doing it to an innocent.
That is good. I've heard of certain members of your organization that believe that the weak should be destroyed.
I do not agree with them at all.
I can see that.
It is that no, just the people whose souls have become stagnant, those who deal drugs to children, rapists, child murderers, things of that nature. Those are their minds are so filled with entropy, and it's just time for them to return to the wheel, and hopefully they will be reborn into a better life.
Well, should you come across any vampires that do such things, you have my permission to kill them.
Thank you, but I don't know much on how to take care of vampires. I know a few things, but obviously not enough to do too much harm.
Well, you will learn. I have determined that much. Never underestimate fire or decapitation.
Okay. So if fireworks, how come? Because I know I saw you use it. How come you and Mordecai can throw fire then?
It is a manipulation of the blood through arcane means. Fire is. He closes his eyes and says a word, and all of a sudden you see that both of his hands are on fire. He then reinvokes the word, and the flames vanish. Those of us who have mastered how to manipulate fire from our blood have no fear of said fire. However, we can still be damaged by the fire of others.
Okay. So I guess in a way it could possibly turn out to be a literal firefight.
If the House Flambeau of the Order of Hermes is involved, then that is to be assured. However, that is not all that can be used in that manner. Let's see. So he turns, looks at a can sitting on a wall, and says Regomotus, moves his hand, and it just pings. Something hits it, and the can goes flying through the air.
Is that like a kinetic strike?
Something similar. Think of it as a enhanced form of telekinesis that is also manipulated through my blood. I can also cause vertigo for people. I can as well increase the potency of my own blood, as well as set the blood of other people on fire, though that requires me to touch them. It's not something I prefer doing, it's something I can do. But not to give away too many secrets.
I understand. Seems like you have a lot of tricks up your sleeve.
When one has lived since the Renaissance doing nothing but perfecting the art of killing vampires, one learns what one can. It's such a thing that it is my position within my organization that those that are the exceptionally heinous individuals, like Mordecai, like there are others. There's ones that you should never hope to meet, such as Vikos. God, if I could ever get my hands on Vikos, I would turn that thing inside out while it screamed in agony. That would probably just get off on it.
Oh, uh, okay then.
You've met the Zemis, I assume?
I met Salish. He can go. Yeah, he's gone now.
Vikos is such a being that would make Zelish's sadism look tame.
You can kind of see her face go really, really pale.
Also, to call Vikos he or she is to do a disservice to those pronouns, as Vikos is more of an it. I don't ever expect such a being to be in the city, so you should be safe.
It's not me I'm worried about. There are no doubt others that it is harming innocents. Should
And
not-
there are others amongst my own particular position. You've met one of them, Mircea Basra. He is like me in our estimation of position.
Okay.
There are many, many more of us out there that hunt what we call the red list. The very worst of the worst, the damned, the fiendish, the hated. We refer to them as anathema, and that is a very light term to use for them.
I see.
That is also something you should not bring up to other members of my organization.
The other Cappadocians?
No, the other Camarilla.
Ah, okay.
You've met a few of them. The Tremere chick. What's her name? Ramirez. Yes. Ramirez, Raven, Sir Liam. I still find it hilarious that he holds a kingdom. Or princedom in this case.
Wait, so he's a prince now?
Sir Liam was the one who took over the princedom when your former prince, well, not your prince, but the former prince of the Camarilla, what was her name? Becker, Nemini Becker, was recalled. She was given a position of high estimation, the personal guard of one of the leaders of the Camarilla. It is not something that is ever dismayed. Well, there are some that dismay such a calling, but it's not something that is ever turned down.
Okay. I didn't know he became a prince or whatever. Or at least I didn't know he was the time I met him. I think
It
we
is-
had my apologies.
No, continue. I was just going to say that when we refer to the leader within a city, prince is the term given. Like, please go on.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that I only met him once, and that was, I think we had a short conversation. He was asking me if I could repair his armor. He never got back to me on that, so.
Well, I understand he's the busy sort, especially since one of his best friends was killed.
Yeah, he seemed, I'm not sure if, I suppose grief-stricken would be a relative word to say, when Zalish was finally taken down.
The history that I understand so far is that Zalish was his second when they were in the Dark Ages, before Liam took his dirt nap, and before Zalish became a monster. Such things are hard to understand. I myself know this better than anyone. To be betrayed by my own brother and to lose a brother because of it.
I would not wish that on anyone.
What is even more painful to know is that when I finally send my brother to hell, he will take my brother with him. There's no way to extricate an fallen soul from his.
I'm terribly sorry that you have to go through that. It's not something anyone should have to go through and deal with.
It has gone on for too long. It will end, and I will ensure that it does. Any assistance you wish to bring, do not hesitate to seek alliance within the Camarilla itself. They have been remiss in this instance, though I understand Raven has been trying to get in touch with me about something. At least the gangrel I can deal with, it's the Tremere.
Yeah, it seems that a lot of people do not like the Tremere. What's their deal?
They have lived for too long with the belief that everybody is out to get them, and when you do such a thing, it tends to cause people to actively start being against them. They are a pillar clan of Camarilla, and they have been long been deserving of that position. But there are so many of them that act in disreputable manners, all for the sake of their own knowledge. At one time, if they had followed the proper decorum procedures, they may have been on par with the Cappadocians as far as knowledge. But sometimes when you take the easy way, it diminishes you instead of elevating you.
See.
That is unfortunately all I can tell you in that regard.
Do you know why the Order of Hermes doesn't like them so much?
That is a lesson to learn from your master. I will say this. If there is a reason, my own creator has deemed it not important enough or not severe enough. No, that's not correct. It has either deemed it not important enough or has decided that I am not worthy of that knowledge.
Okay. It's kind of the same here. I was told that, never to go into one because they're apprentice stealers, but I was never really told any other thing other than that.
Well, they are known for taking mages and embracing them into their order. So that is accurate. They do so in means of gaining that knowledge, as well as having beings of their own that can already manipulate magic, so that training them is not that difficult.
It's horrible, though. Wouldn't their avatar be destroyed?
That is something I have no knowledge of, as once more, it's either not important enough or I'm unworthy enough to know such things from my creator.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
He'll pull out that red stone again and look at it. I'm afraid I must leave. Have you learned everything that you wish to learn?
Yeah. Thank you for everything that you've told me tonight. It seems that I have a lot more people to talk to now.
He'll nod his head and he'll wave his hand, saying "Finite," and all of a sudden you can hear traffic and people talking down the alleyway and such a thing. If you'll excuse me, I have somebody I have to find.
Of course. I wish you the best of luck.
He will actually. You ever seen? You've seen The Matrix, the Matrix, the second Matrix movie, right?
I might have.
All right, you know that scene where Keanu Reeves like goes down to one knee and then leaps into the sky?
Yeah.
He does that. Except he doesn't shoot straight up like he's flying. He begins wall jumping off of the buildings to get up onto the roof, and then takes off from there.
Damn.
If you look down at the pavement, it's actually cracked.
Double damn. I think with that, she'll call the Saul and ask who that the guard died, like the guard. I can't remember his name. The
Who?
dude,
Oh,
yeah, the dude that Darius said to ask about.
all right. If you call him and ask about Garen Tepes, he will say, "Apprentice, there's we need to have a talk."
Oh no.
Do you want to do that now, or
Yeah,
do you need
that's
to go to bed?
fine. Oh no, it's the weekend. I'm good.
Yeah, I know. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I got you. But yeah, no, that's fine.
Give me a moment. Let me switch my lower third.
In that case, she'll very seldomly head back to his sanctum. Actually, no, she'll stop for cookies on the way, just to try and ease everything.
Okay. All right. So you get back to the the shop. You head downstairs in the sanctum. You hear something that sounds like metal clattering on metal. It sounds like somebody's working at the forge.
She'll head to her room first and kind of set down her bag, let Pelagius go out and about. Then she'll take the cookies and she'll head back into the forge.
All right. You see him in there. He's working on a piece of metal, and it looks like he's over-tempered it and is just beating the shit out of it.
She'll walk in and kind of lean against the wall. You want a cookie?
He'll stop, set down the hammer, pick up the piece of metal. I was trying to make this into a crisp blade. I think I'm going to have to scrap it and reforge it. And he'll toss the piece of metal aside and then look over to her. That name. How do you know that name?
I was talking to a guy, Blackthorn, about some stuff, and he told me to ask you about the name.
Blackthorn, the vampire hunter in the city, the vampire that hunts his own kind.
Yeah, the vampire hunter.
I knew Garen Tepes a long time ago. But he's been lost, been dead since, when was it? 1097. No, 1075 was when the Order lost track of him. He was a member of my house back before it was even my house, back before a lot of things happened. He was a young and idealistic magus. He had great talent for manipulating primal energy back when it was still called quintessence. Well, actually, back before it was even known as quintessence, back when it was the essence of energy itself. But what struck me most was how kind he was.
Okay.
How did this Blackthorn know that name? How does I'm sorry. I am at a loss for words for once. I know that's something that is quite unusual for you to witness from me.
No, it's completely fine. He had a little black book with information on a lot of people, it seemed.
A black book
Yeah, he said it,
with tan pages like old paper or
yeah,
treated paper.
and it was written in a really strange language.
He's going to walk over to a wall. He's going to. He's actually going to walk over to one of the design boards on the wall. Take up a dry erase marker. He's going to write something in that language. Is
Yeah.
this the words?
Mm-hmm. What language is that anyway?
He's going to erase the. He's going to erase the board. It's Enochian. It's a language that no vampire should know. It is a language that not many mages know. But it is a language that was taught primarily within the Order of Hermes. How does he know Enochian?
I guess his creator taught it to him. That's where he said he got the book.
Is his creator in the city?
I didn't ask him that.
If you get a chance, ask him.
I can text him real fast.
Okay. He's
She'll,
going to lean against the wall.
yeah, she'll text him real fast asking if his creator's in the city.
He'll text back. No, unfortunately, he's busy dealing with other things. He is much broader of vision and spread more thin than I am.
She'll show the message to Desal.
He'll look at that, and he'll look at the words. Broader of vision. Broader of vision. It can't be. We were told he was dead, that he never made it home. I'm his meditate apprentice. Take that medal and see if there's anything you can make out of it, at which point he'll swiftly turn and leave, heading down a corridor.
She'll just kind of stand there and, as he disappears, or as he's disappeared, she'll just kind of wave her hand. I didn't mean to upset you. And then set the cookies down after having one and start seeing what she can do with the medal.
The best you could do with that medal is turn it into a standard longsword.
And then that's probably what she'll start working on then.
All right. And I think we're at a good point to stop. So thank you, players, for playing. We actually had people watching at one point. So thank you for watching. This has been another edition of Hong Kong House of Cards, where shit keeps popping up. People keep poking bears. So have a good night.